Hey buddies, Mr. Pugly here, coming at you in another Wonderlands video. Today's an urgent video I wanted to make ASAP regarding a certain armor that was recently introduced in the DLC 4 by the name of Mosquito's Mantle. Now the Mosquito Mantle is a little bit busted at the current moment. It is basically, to put it into layman's term, allows you to get ridiculously amount of damage with no effort at all. Essentially, it allows you to easily double dip or even triple dip the entire damage formula with anything you're doing with melee, gun, abilities, spells, anything you want. It's really busted. And you're probably going to be seeing this armor in a lot of different builds because of how cheesy it is. It's basically the armor's equivalent of Buffmeister. You know how every single build uses Buffmeister because it's ridiculously good. You're probably going to see Mosquito's Mantle is used in every single build because it's ridiculously good. I'm going to briefly show you my skill tree. I'm not using any cheese. I'm not using play the angles. I'm not using Geist Skulls, so there's no cheese in my build. Here's my entire loadout: Goblin Pickaxe, Perceiver, these two rings, Cursed Wit, Mantle, Buffmeister, and Sacrifice Keep, and I'm going to show you how much damage we can do with just this combo and basically a bare minimum low optimization of this with no cheese besides just shooting a Perceiver pistol. Now you could use this with any type of equipment like I said before, but I'm going to get more elaborate into that in a few moments. And I'm going to be using Blizzard because it doesn't deal a lot of damage, but I'm going to use it anyways just to proc our Wrath of Nature so we can get some more damage for the double dip, as you'll see in a few moments. And right there, just in a few shots, the parasite was killed. I did a little bit of blunder and accidentally was using my 3-round burst, which is unoptimal for this gun. But I used the semi-auto and I shot the boss like a couple times, and the Mosquito Mantle pretty much killed him in, I guess, maybe like 1 to 2 shots there. It's really dumb. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the Mosquito's Mantle, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch on the top right. You have no idea how much helps me out. And let's get into the video.
Legendary? Whoa! No way!
So to briefly explain what the Mosquito's Mantle does is every single time we crit with anything at all, anything you can imagine, even play the angles, even Geist Skulls, any cheese damage that you can think of, contagion, dots, anything at all, it's going to have a chance to proc a crossbolt that is going to go through the entire damage formula again, which basically gets all your enchantments, all your stats, all of your skill tree points, all of your hero stats, all your myth ranks, like every single thing, and apply it to another damage source, which is going to be the crossbolt. And an easy way to show this is if I go into play the angles, you'll notice if I punch normally, you're only going to see 1 damage number. But when we get the crossbolt to happen, we'll see 2 damage numbers, and you can easily see the double dipping happen with a very small number. We have 635 with a regular hit, and then it double dips to 959. So that's an easy example with no gear at all. On this build, we're pretty much getting 1.5 times more damage with just a regular punch. No melee weapons at all. So you can kind of see Mosquito's Mantle's kind of busted from the get-go right there. Key things you want to know about this Mosquito's Mantle, besides it being OP, is that it has no internal cooldown. So you can proc it infinitely, no matter what. You could have like 1 billion bullets on one target and it could proc over and over and over. So like say you shot like 18 bullets at one target, you could potentially get 18 crossbolts on that one target if all of them crit and proc it. So it's really busted in that perspective. As I said before, it's damage source on what you hit it with. So if you do melee, the crossbolt's going to be melee damage formula. If it's gun, it's going to deal gun damage. If it's ability damage, it does ability damage. You know, that's important for play the angles and Geist Skulls. If it does spells, it does spells. If it does dots, it's going to do dots. So status effect damage. So right there, you can kind of already tell that it's really busted. There's not going to be a single reason not to use a Mosquito's Mantle. I mean, I've had instances where I didn't use a Mosquito's Mantle and I killed bosses quicker by using like a selective amnesia, but the Mosquito's Mantle is going to give you those random, basically, I guess you could say, play the angles procs on any character very easily. And you can even combo it with a certain amulet to deal even more damage, up to infinite damage, sort of like how we had our pre-nerf Contagion build, where you can get the damage loop to happen over and over again, similar to the Contagion like I said before. And let me go back to Freya so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, or to put it into perspective on what item I'm talking about. And the item I'm talking about is going to be the Barboload. So the Barboload, every single time you hit a target, you have a chance to make an enemy that's attached with a crossbolt, which is what the Mosquito's Mantle does. It attaches a crossbolt to the enemy, as well as deal that busted damage that I showed before. And you could essentially get the Barboload to shoot that damage formula over to a next target, and then if that target for some reason has a crossbolt on him, that could target back to the initial boss, which is really ridiculous. So you could essentially have infinite damage right there. Now the Mosquito's Mantle itself is not able to crit, so the crossbolts that summons from the Mosquito's Mantle cannot crit at all, and I believe that covers basically everything you need to know about the Mosquito's Mantle. Basically, if you find one, this isn't even a good Mosquito's Mantle for my build, and I was able to one-shot pretty much, well, not necessarily one-shot, but do the entire HP bar of the Parasite with this very crappy Mosquito's Mantle. So just equip any random Mosquito's Mantle and you're pretty much good to go. You're probably going to see this armor on a lot of builds just to easily cheese damage. And keep in mind, I wasn't cheesing any damage with Play the Angles and Geist Skulls. If I did cheese damage with Play the Angles and then Geist Skulls and then that procced Mosquito's Mantle, we could have dealt even more damage, what you guys saw. So you didn't even see the max damage potential, you just saw the bare minimum and it basically shredded. It's really dumb, really dumb. I don't really know why it went past playtesting at this point, but it did. Use it before it gets nerfed. A lot of this information that I said in this video was confirmed by Quag as well as Sen, as well as Stone Swan, so keep in mind that those are the 3 big MVPs on all the information I got for this video. Sorry if this video seems a little bit rushed. I really wanted to get this information out there ASAP because normally I don't record on the weekends because I'm very busy, but this was something I needed you guys to know because it's kind of ridiculous. And as always, a big shout out to the members who make these videos possible. We got Clairvoyance, Rick Iglesias, Grey Wolf, Cameron, Benjamin, Wishkeeper, and 31bar70. These are the people who support me as little as $5 a month on Patreon or YouTube, and you can also support me as little as $5 a month by clicking the link in the comments or description or in the top right to become a member. The more members we have, the closer I get to becoming full-time, which means more videos for you guys. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. More in a cave with a torch on a wall than a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.